what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Difficult to Please podcast, episode 7.5.
Yeah, 7.5.
What had happened was, this is Erwin.
Oh, this is JV. Of course, introductions first.
Fuck. Yeah, so TLDR, the true episode 7 had a lot of technical difficulties. So we're just going to TLDR and talk about that real quick before getting to today's topics.
Yeah, it was actually a really depressing episode.
It was the most depressing episode we've had. I mean, it's a good thing because it's just not always rainbows and butterflies.
Hell yeah, I like butterflies.
So we had talked about public education, going back to school,
America's ranking system.
Yes.
Or among the world.
We were talking about what's the ways we can. Well, what was wrong that we saw, and then we were saying for both of us, we couldn't find out what our own kind of decisions on it because this shit's so fucking broad.
Right, because just a real quick. From my view, I think the public education system in America is kind of outdated.
Yeah.
I want to say that because nothing's guaranteed that just because you get a college degree means you're going to get a job. Because not. Because all the standards are now getting higher. And then, I feel bad for all those people who are in student debt and, they can't get a job.
Yep.
And they all have degrees. Like Erwin first.
Yeah, but
graduated at Starbucks for a while.
It took so long, even after getting that degree, to find and land a job that was paying me what I was kind of expecting out of a college.
You're only doing film. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's crazy you graduated in film.
But I mean, I'm happy with what I'm doing now because
which is not film, but.
In San Diego, I'll take it. Graphic design is something that I felt passionate about since high school, and that's something that I was self-taught, and I worked my way to get here to this point in time. So
it was good.
Yeah, I mean, it worked out, but there's other people who they had to switch their own kind of their paths, and there's many people who did that here in San Diego too, that they wanted to do something out of high school or out of college, and then it's like, what, actually never mind, I'm not gonna do this, or there's a market saying that you're not gonna get any money for your degree. So
yeah, and I was kind of comparing it to other countries where fortunately in America we have the opportunity to drop from one major and try to enter another, and in other countries it's kind of set in stone in high school. If you excelled in the arts, then your future would be in the arts. That was set in stone. If you're going into the sciences, then you go into doctors and medical and whatnot. But like I said, you wouldn't have that opportunity over there to jump from one to the other. So that's just the pros and cons. But then the pros of that overseas is that you're more focused. If you're good at the arts, they're gonna keep throwing arts on you, and you're gonna excel, and you're gonna do really well in there.
Yeah.
Vice versa. And pros and cons of public education. Is it outdated? Is it good? Is it bad? I mean, it's how you make it out of it, I guess.
I think I think we brought up the cultural aspect of America and having the freedom to kind of choose your own path, and saying that you can, at any point in time in your educational career, you can kind of just say, I don't want to do this, and you can, if you have the willpower and if there's a way, then you will make it happen, right? So if you want to one day go into business for yourself while you were not that's not what your path was. If you were, let's say you were in science and you want to just be a cook or a chef or whatever, you can do that.
Yeah,
you can do whatever the fuck you want. It's America.
Right.
And then yeah, so there's definitely pros and cons, like we said. So we also talked about gun control, since it was
America.
yeah the last episode that we recorded was the week after the Vegas shooting.
Right. So we actually touched on the Vegas shooting, and
Yes.
we talked about gun laws and, are they actually really working? And then we talked about, well, there's no real good solution to
Yeah.
gun laws because it's part of the Second Amendment. Some people are pro-gun, some people are very anti-gun. Some we compared it to other countries that
like Australia,
Japan, or something that limited firearms to only military and police.
yeah.
And then, did that work? Yeah, study shows that there have been fewer crime rates with countries that didn't have access to guns, but in America, that's part of our right. And,
Yeah.
I mean, it's good, right?
It's like a good problem to have, and I think we were saying this on the hidden episode, is that it's the Constitution wasn't when it was written, right, in the 1700s. Like, there was no such thing as automatic rifles or semi-automatic rifles. You had a musket,
Right.
right? That took 5 minutes to reload. You shoot it, and then the little pellet goes, and then you take your time and refill it, and do all that stuff. And it's like, well, it was the wild wild west, basically. And well, in the sense
I was
of,
about to say that this Wild Wild West in the 1700s are like way different.
no, it's like in the sense that like the whole the colonies wasn't like, it wasn't as, I don't want to say lawful, but it was so spread out.
Mm-hmm.
Like not the government, but like police. If you felt in danger, like 200 years ago, you had to protect yourself.
Right.
And as you move forward west, it's part of like the whole kind of, it just keeps spreading. Like, there's, the police, no one's going to come and protect you.
Right. So now is.
Yeah. So on and so forth. So yes, it's a very kind of tricky subject with gun control, because though there is a right for someone to actually own a firearm, everyone has a right to live, and it's like we have a problem, obviously, with the amount of mass shootings,
right,
that are happening at an unprecedented pace, because we were saying on the last episode, like, we are the Columbine generation. We were the first generation of students that started, experiencing school shootings, and then so on and so forth from that moment in 1998, 1999.
And I hate to say it, but it's like uncommon now. Like, it used to be rare. If I had a level, like, he's like Pokemon.
Yeah.
Pokemon rarity on this one. This is like uncommon card.
Yeah, it's starting to get, it's uncommon, and
I'm like not surprised by it anymore. And then if it happens, which is sad.
Very sad.
And so we're also talking about, like, how many guns do we actually really need?
Yeah.
We're comparing it to the Vegas person who had like a grip of guns.
Yeah.
And do we actually really need that much? That's what we're talking about, like limitations and whatnot. And yeah, there's no happy.
There is no
solution.
There is a solution. It's just, it's like a combo that we're not thinking about it, and we're not like the policy experts and shit. So it's like, well, there obviously just needs something to happen that that fixes it. Same thing with education. So that's kind of our TLDR. That was a little longer. That was like 10.
Yeah, that TLDR was pretty long. It was a deep thing, and I really think that we should be aware of it.
The hidden episode, I think, was the most kind of like profound and kind of like very thoughtful discussion, because that shit was like, it's not easy to have those topics. It's not even a talk
at all.
because you're like, yes, education's a very fucking like everyone is passionate about education and keeping our kids educated, and then it's like, well, there's
the
always
reality.
like, well, how do you improve it so that it's working for everybody? Because right now it's only working for a few folks,
right?
And sometimes people are gonna fall through the cracks, and how do we help them too? So it's like, fuck, that's so much shit. So on that note of,
you should just redid that episode. No, I'm just kidding. No. Maybe
okay. Well, on that note, and on staying educated and passing your 20s and getting into your 30s is, let's talk about what is it?
Internet legitimacy.
Yeah, like how to kind of filter your news and be informed. And be informed with the facts.
kind of applies to 20s too, but you're not gonna give a fuck in the 20s unless you're part of those groups that really want to save the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's so different. Okay, first of all, it's a little bit different, the landscape now in news media, because not only do you have like the corporate news that's been around for like forever, like the CNN, NBC, Fox News, CBS, 10 News, like all of them, and PBS, is that we have the rise of like people like journalists and making their own blogs.
Right.
So it's like now you have like Vox, you have
Young Turks,
Politico,
right? This is just so many.
The Guardian,
right?
The Intercept, like, and then there's like so on and so forth, and then
like
those.
Flipboard has their own news source too, right?
Yeah, it's like it keeps splintering, so that what used to be these monoliths of news media, now it's like, well, you have that, then you got this, and then you got like the people on Twitter who are just like shouting their own opinion.
Right.
And like they claim that they were there or some shit like that. So it's like it's such a mess from what like I think we were in school, and how to kind of like decipher like, well, how do you decipher lean and partisan and someone reporting the news and shit.
It's so funny that economics in high school always taught you to be an informed buyer.
Yeah. Because you want,
and I think that applies even now. You need to be informed, and you can't just blindly accept things for the way they are. Like you can't like. It's kind of like buying things too. Like you can't just blindly buy iPhones and Samsungs and. Oh, well, maybe, but
I mean, I mean, there's definitely exceptions, but
there's exceptions, yeah. Sorry,
but I agree that for the most part, it's good to be an informed buyer,
right?
Especially when you want to make a large purchase. Like if you're gonna buy a car, you want to look into the model, and you want to see like, okay, well, this has exactly.
And that was okay, and that applies to getting news too.
Yeah.
Because how many news sources do you look at actually in reality?
For me, it's like, okay, so I NBC. I mean, okay, hold up. I'll start local.
Okay.
So it's like NBC, ABC, CBS, Fox, because it's all like the same. It's just different, kind of like. Sometimes it's a matter of who gets there first.
Right.
So like if it's in my timeline, like if there's a fire, like if it's whoever gets there first, and it's because it's very pertinent, it's important information, right? And then just to be informed from there, it's just like, well, it's like the LA Times, Union Tribune, and it's like Vice, Vox.
I need to start checking out Vice and Vox more.
Politico.
Do you do any of the mainstream media like Fox, CBS, MSNBC?
I mean,
NPR.
Oh yeah, I actually do. Yeah, NPR is pretty good. NPR is like.
Okay, we should. Yeah, what? NPR. I'm a big fan of NPR.
NPR is like the gold kind of standard. I think.
Right.
Because
it's really down the middle.
It's very like straight to the facts.
Right.
It's not like there's not like a real kind of. I mean, there's all journalists have a different like perspective, but NPR there's not really a lean. There's not like a slant to what they do. They're like, well, these are the facts. This is what's happening. We'll give you background.
Right.
Versus there's like obviously Fox News, there's a slant. MSNBC has a slant.
CNN has a slant now.
The thing about CNN right now is it's kind of like, well, because of the current president, the people that they put on, it's just like it doesn't really. It's like almost fair and balanced, but it's like I swear the stuff on CNN is just a bunch of like yelling heads.
So I was wondering, do you ever look at Facebook news? I'm just curious, like stuff like Facebook.
Like what though?
Okay, there's a lot of random news I would see on Facebook now. I'm not saying because I wasn't really following Facebook because of the election, but what I've heard was that there's a lot of like random articles. Like people will post like the craziest articles on Facebook, and they'll really take it at face value sometimes.
Oh, okay, I get what you're saying.
And I think that's crazy if they do. Like, shout out to the people who don't, but it's crazy when like you start quoting these Facebook posts. Some of them are fine, but a lot of them I notice are like, fuck, where'd you guys get your info from?
Yeah, it's like those you know like when you go to a website and you see those like sponsored posts at the very bottom. It's like those.
Yeah.
they look very spammy.
Right. It's like that random newspaper or whatever, the tabloid that's at the grocery line.
Oh,
you look at it, you're like, the fuck?
You're like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, and okay, the thing is with Facebook, and especially Facebook more than Twitter, is that I'm fine with like if it's a credible news source and they post it, like, because I personally don't go to the website as often to the whatever news organization or media outlet. So if it pops up on my feed, I'm like, oh, okay, like CNN had this article or Fox had this article. Okay, yeah, I'll read it. But if it's like some weird conspiracy theory shit, I'm like, what is this?
And that gets circulated.
Yeah, it's so weird, man.
I don't like it. I really don't like it. And that's what I mean by we gotta stay informed. Like, you really gotta check your news sources and not just take things at face value.
But it's so weird. We were talking about this off air, and we were saying how when you have a platform, especially, okay, let's say for example Yelp, where you kind of trust strangers' opinions, it's just kind of like that kind of same situation where you have, well, my friends are sharing this, like, okay, maybe I'll read it and then see if this is like legit. But you're like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you sharing this bullshit information?
Right.
But it's like that effect. It's like, well, if my friend said it and that seems okay, then it has to be true.
Kind of like your peer-to-peer.
Yeah, it's like peer-to-peer.
Thing from high school.
Yeah, it's just like Tommy, not a real name, from high school shared an article about the JFK assassination and how it was a hoax. So like some shit like that.
Right.
Or even like I don't know if this is really true, but like, oh no, it was fake. It was like people who believe the Earth is still flat.
Oh gosh, yeah, that was circulating for a while too, huh? That was hella circulating. I remember that. I was reading all shit about it. And then, like, even my coworker was telling me about it. And I was like, look at YouTube videos and stuff like that about it. Just like, I was like, the hell, there's actually YouTube
like,
videos
there's
about
people who believe the Earth is fucking flat. That doesn't make any sense to me. Like, dude, there's fucking science behind this.
Right. But they had science proved. I'm just kidding. That's what I'm saying. Like, anyone could basically post anything because it's the internet, man. So, don't fucking take that shit up.
Yeah.
Face value.
The thing about, okay, that's like, this is the one of the ills of having like social media is having a dumbed down society like this, right?
Right.
So you have people sharing not true articles about, let's say the earth is still flat or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just keeps getting shared like a chain letter.
Right.
It's and then you just,
that's the internet, though.
That's
how memes get popular. That's how
oh man,
random ass shit gets popular.
Yo, so did you buy tickets to Complex Con?
Actually, I'm really considering it. I'm most likely gonna go, but then like I'm kind of worried at the same time. I'm like the only person around my age that's gonna go. Like
it's like, I think we talked about this maybe episode 4 or 5.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, because go ahead.
Oh, so no. So the only thing I'm really worried about is like, well, it's cool. I mean, that generation of like that culture, like the hypebeast culture, was ours, right?
Yes,
that's definitely ours. So like for me, it's kind of like a nostalgic factor. I'm like, oh, cool. I get to see the hundreds again. I get to see. Well, I'm not gonna see Triumpher, but I'm gonna see those like the street fashion again. And for me, that like, I was like, man, this is my
that's I nerd out on that shit too. It's
I super nerd out on it. Like that's my cool nerd factor. And also Takashi Murakami is like one of the big people on it, and it's like backed up by Pharrell and Complex magazine.
Yeah, because I remember. So this is the second year of Complex Con.
Right.
Last year was kind of like, I guess, their test run, and for me it was kind of like, just judging on social media, it looked like almost like a trade show.
So I was looking, I'm like, what's like fashion, like a street fashion convention? It's a trade show, right?
It's like a trade show, but you're not buying like 3,000 shirts in bulk and signing up to buy. You're not doing all that, but I mean, that's what I assumed from social media what it looked like.
And he said they're really big on like food too. Like it's food, music, and clothing.
Yeah, and then this year, they announced that N.E.R.D would be performing or reuniting to perform, and I was like, fuck.
Because you're about to go to the Blackstar concert.
I am going to the Blackstar concert, and the one in San Diego was rescheduled. Originally, it was the end of September, but they rescheduled it to Halloween, which is obviously next week, and Complex Con is next Saturday. So it's like, fuck, like
you can't drop.
I'm not gonna drop the money. I just got through a rough patch with my finances, so I'm choosing to go to Blackstar with Rona because even Blackstar, man. That's 20 years in the making too, man. I'm so hyped to go.
I know we were in high school when the Blackstar album first came out, right? Or
Blackstar was that
definitely not
99, right? That was 99.
Yes, we're in middle school then, right?
Yeah, but that music still stuck with us, and it was so good.
Still good. I still have that album.
So it released. It released 1998, but we were still fucking bumping that.
Middle school.
Yeah, we were still bumping that in high school, though.
Like I barely understood what hip hop was.
Yeah. And that's one of the most like classic hip hop's albums of all time. So for me, at least, and it kind of provided that backbone for like RD and what we wanted to do.
Right.
But it's like,
I mean, that's what we got to.
Also with like N.E.R.D. Yeah, especially with like RD2 and N.E.R.D. Like N.E.R.D. was.
N.E.R.D. was 2001, right? Or 2000? Freshman year of high school for sure.
Yeah, Fly or Die was 01.
No, not Fly or Die.
I'm sorry.
In Search of.
In Search of. Yeah, Fly or Die was 03.
Yeah, because Van Wilder had that things. One of the songs, like, wow, fuck, I forget what it's called now, but one of the dopest songs ever from N.E.R.D was in that movie. I remember that.
Van Wilder, the one with Ryan Reynolds?
Yeah, was it Van Wilder?
I don't know.
I could be wrong on that one, but I remember it was like a college movie. We're in high school though. But I remember I heard that album. Is it Things Are Getting Better? No.
Oh yeah, it's like my favorite, like underrated.
I mean, that album was gold. Like In Search of was probably
In Search of it's still one of my favorite albums
of all time.
I remember on eBay, I bought that album because it was like $4. I was like, shit. Because I remember I got a copy from Raf, and then I lost it.
Huh.
Like a burned CD from Raf's burned CD.
Burned CDs. Did you just say burn CD?
It's like a burned CD from a burned, like, the second generation. So Raf got a burned copy, and then I burned Raf's copy.
Oh yeah, pirating at its best back then.
We didn't need torrents.
Right. We got borrowed from people.
Yeah. So next week that's a heavy lineup. So I'm definitely watching Blackstar with Rona on Halloween.
And I'm most likely going to Complex Con to see N.E.R.D.
And you're bringing your cousin? I'm sorry, not your cousin, your nephew?
My nephew and I think a homie wants to go with me too. He just bought a Kid Robot hat the other day. He's like, hell yeah, I'm ready for this shit. No,
they keep announcing shit too.
Which is good.
Which is fucking dope,
it's kind of tailored to like us for sure, because now they're like the music, the food, the clothes. The only problem is we're not really into clothes as much anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I actually had to purge some of my hypebeast clothes.
See, look, this lineup is pretty, like, even the music lineup, okay, it's... Some of it I'm obviously not up on, but you have N.E.R.D, MIA, Young Thug's gonna be there, Khaled, DJ A-Track, Kyle.
Super duper Kyle, yeah.
Your man's Kyle.
Sick.
No Name is pretty sick.
Is Joey Badass on that?
Not currently, but maybe not. Who knows?
I'm surprised 88 Rising isn't going to be on there.
Oh, did you end up going to see what Rich Chigga like last week?
No, but I got invited to go to this one rave in Jakarta.
Okay.
It's at the end of the year, and they just announced that freaking Rich Chigga and like Higher Brothers and like the cast, like the music groups from like 88 Rising.
So the whole like 88 Rising crew.
Yeah, but it's gonna be weird because it's gonna be like a rave scene, but it could be like hip hop artists or
okay,
like a rap music in there. So it's gonna kind of off, but whatever, man. Rich Chigga's Indonesian, so.
Even like the vendors at Complex Con, it's like a mix of like what a trade show and what like real life is. Because then like there's places that are selling like clothes and shit.
I don't recognize a lot of those brands.
Yeah, and these are like newer brands. Sorry, but then you have like UGG. UGG's gonna be there. There's a Fila Sanrio pop up. Urban Outfitters.
Extra large, hell yeah, I remember that, but I don't buy any clothes anymore. I like them, but
see Wahoo's Fish Taco for food.
Someone actually brought this up to me the other day. They were telling me, how can you like a brand if you don't own any of their clothes?
Oh shit!
Like I told them I like Bobby Hundreds.
Yeah.
And I like Supreme.
Yeah.
I like Stussy.
Yeah.
But I don't own any of their stuff.
Mm.
And I always like thought to myself, like, I remember back then, they were really expensive brands back then. I mean, this is the same guy who bought a freaking $400 Babe hoodie, but that's different. I was passionate about that. I guess I'm not so passionate about like Supreme, Bobby Hundreds or something. But Bobby Hundreds is actually not that expensive at all. It's actually
like the Hundreds is pretty affordable, and they continually have like end of season sales and stuff like that. So it's always gonna be at a decent price point.
Mm-hmm.
And then for me, it's like I don't buy Stussy at full price
I can't.
Well, it's so well because it's so easy because of Stussy sale still. Like I'll still cop Stussy shirts. If there's a Stussy sale, I'm not always gonna buy something, but I'll at least drop in and see what's up. But
I mean,
I don't know.
you saw that Supreme shirt. People still buy into that though.
Yeah, I recently copped another Supreme shirt and I sold it.
How? Man, can you sell my shit? I'm trying to get rid of my Adidas hoodie.
I'm telling you, a Supreme shit, because the kids are into it, is fucking easy to flip.
Really?
Yeah, it really is.
I'm pretty sure I can get someone to buy my Adidas / Star Wars parka.
You just gotta find the right buyer. It's just hard as fuck, man. Because even like selling kicks is hard as fuck. I was like trying to get
X-Stock now. X-Stock's actually good.
Yes, StockX is good.
Or StockX.
It's they take like 20% off. They take 20% of the cut though.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah, but if you have something, you're pricing something at like 300, and then you take 20% off that, it's like $60, and then it's like you pay
everything else.
It's like you have to also pay on top shipping to get it to them to verify it to send it. Yeah, so because StockX works as a middleman.
Mm-hmm.
So they take the cut and then you ship it to them. It's like, so by the time you might end up with the number or the net of your shoe, it's going to be like,
not as much.
It's almost like marginal profit. That's what I was looking at. I was like, shit. Because, yeah, over there, I don't want to say over this. Prior to me going to Europe, I bought Supreme Nikes, and then I looked into StockX, and yeah, the profit was going to be marginal.
Really?
Yep.
You think you had to sleep on it for a bit?
No, that's why I just did it through fucking eBay.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you sold your shit through eBay?
I sell a lot of Supreme shit through eBay.
Damn, maybe I should try eBay.
Just throw it out there. But yeah, I mean, this is I feel like it's like a third episode talking about selling shit. Selling shit.
We're trying to make money right now. Okay?
And going to Complex Con.
Yeah. Like, I'm trying to sell this shit at Complex Con. They'd be like, yo, man, you seen this hoodie? Give me $500 for it right now. I know you got money. You didn't come here broke as fuck.
It's so weird that because like Complex Con and the Blackstar show, there's obviously going to be such a two different crowd,
right?
Two different vibes. So I'm just curious for when you go.
What kind of
to Long Beach? Like, yo, how is it? Like, what is it like to you? Like, what? Because that's gonna be crazy.
Can't you say like this kind of like generation now? Like I see my nephews and stuff like that, and I'll just watch them, and they're kind of like into the same stuff we're into. You know, they'll think about it's different brands, obviously,
right? Yeah.
But you know, Supreme's still relevant. Stussy's.
Yes.
I think Stussy's still relevant.
Yeah, it's like the heavy hitters.
Right. So, Babe is kind of relevant.
I swear, man, Babe stays relevant even though they have a ridiculous price point. It's so fucking weird.
It's definitely still relevant in Asia.
Yeah, it's so even like I'm like, what? Why are we still like buying hoodies at like $300, $400, and it's sold out every time.
Right.
It's like one of the first things that's, you know, when they drop new shit, they'll sell it out right there.
And people still do that with kicks too.
No, but it's so weird because of like all over print is, you know, it's dead. So
is it?
I think so.
Is it coming back?
I don't think so.
Hawaiian shirts came back.
I just don't think. I don't think all over shirts are coming back, and all over hoodies, I don't think they're coming back either. So it's so weird to me.
Maybe. But as I'm saying, like, so do you think your fashion thing kind of evolved? Like, I think we talked about this in like a previous episode. Yeah, that's right. Crap. Hold on. You gotta cut this part out.
It's like.
So what kind of crowd do you think is going to be over at Blackstar? I'm curious.
I think
a bunch of older heads?
I think so. Especially because they haven't really toured. as a duo in a really long time.
Yeah, Mos has been through a lot.
Yeah, and then Talib, like, I haven't listened to Talib like with purpose in over a decade.
Right.
I think the last one like album I really listened to was Eardrum or whatever it was.
Oh yeah, I actually checked that album out, not intensively, but
Yeah, but that's the like yeah, for me that was the last album I was like, yeah, I'm gonna listen to this album.
holy shit.
And that was 10 years ago. And then like most what the New Danger, what's his last album? Like I
Magic or something like that.
Because I remember I saw Mos in with Brandon in 2013, 2014. He did a show here in San Diego.
Before he became
I
Yasin
think that
Bey.
was about the same time he rebranded himself or reclaimed Yasin Bey.
Got it.
But yeah, but together as Blackstar, that was I always wanted to see that. I think growing up and listening to Blackstar was like, damn, this would be dope to go to a show and watch them live. Now it's like, I'm 30. It's the opportunity of a lifetime. Like, shit, let's go. So I think the crowd is going to be like
Older,
at least 30 and up.
older cats and hip hop purists.
Yes. That's exactly who I think it's going to show up.
You know, it makes me think about how I skipped out on the Far Side concert in San Diego.
Oh, wasn't it like $5 or something?
Yeah, and I didn't go because I was at Belmont Park. I was like, fuck me.
Well, what I think earlier, was it this year or last year? But there was like a $5 show for RJD2.
No.
See, and I was like, damn it, man, it's a $5 show to watch RJD2.
How can you keep up with music now? Like, really, how do people keep up now? Because like I know in the 20s you're kind of always like exploring music, like you're like, oh, who's this artist, who's this artist, and you kind of follow those groups. But then like how do you really like keep in touch with them? Because I would really love to see RJD too. I would love to see Farside, but then I just don't have the time to.
But then you could have saw Rich Chigga last week.
I could have. Could I?
I think you are obviously more into Rich Chigga than I do. I appreciate Rich Chigga, but yeah, he was.
Chigga's dope.
See, yeah, you have more appreciation, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to see him live. That's all.
Yeah.
But
I'd see Higher Brothers live too.
I
don't give a fuck.
I think for me, how I keep up, part of it is Spotify.
But you ain't gonna be like up to date on their news and stuff like that.
The newer stuff.
No, I mean you're not gonna be up with their news. That's what I'm saying. Like you're not gonna know that. Like how did you know that Blackstar was going on tour? Well, probably it's on Jimmy Fallon or something like that.
No, not even. It was
really.
It was. I follow Talib on Instagram.
Oh.
And then he posted the show. And then I also followed the venue that they're performing at, because sometimes they'll do like random stuff like that.
Right.
Like they'll just like say, hey, there's ticket sales for this. And then they're like, oh shit, Talib and Mos are going to be fucking performing. Yeah, let's go.
It makes me wonder, maybe I should really like up my game up on social media, because I don't do stuff like that. I don't follow. The only celebrity I think I really follow is Lily from the AT&T commercials.
Oh. That's a really random follow. That's a fucking random follow.
She's a comedian. I didn't know she actually does shows, and she's pretty damn funny. And then Questlove is the other person I follow in terms of celebrities. Since Aziz cut off his shit, I can't follow him anymore.
So it's like this is like the I think the pros and cons of social media. I think you're kind of like you're explaining it is that like to keep up with like the shit you want to keep up with, but then you kind of want to filter out like the other bullshit and then like not be addicted to everything.
Right. Wait.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's exactly, this is the problem. It's like you want to keep up, and that's what I do. Like I keep up with the artists I want to follow, and there's new shit that I want to follow too. That I think is really cool.
But then doesn't your Twitter or Instagram get super cluttered though? Like I'm having a hard time like keeping up with people I know.
Yeah. Yeah, Instagram gets cluttered, especially like unlike Twitter, it's just words. Like with Instagram, it's like photos
Yeah, that's
and
probably.
like videos.
I feel like words are a little bit harder too. Maybe
Yeah,
I'm more of a visual person. That's why.
yeah, it does. So for like especially with my feed, it's myriad of everything. But you'll find gems. You're like, oh shit, like hey,
Yeah, I follow a furniture store.
you need to step it up. Like fuck.
I follow a dope ass furniture store. I actually found a backpack that way too on Instagram when they had like weird random sponsors. And that's what's crazy. I'm like, how the fuck do these people know what I'm kind of looking for? I am looking for a hybrid backpack slash briefcase.
It's so fucking weird.
Hell yeah.
No, it's because that's part of the reason why Facebook bought Instagram.
Did they? That makes a lot more sense now.
Yeah, so it's like, well, so the shit that they pick up on Facebook, it translates to Instagram. So the same behavior you have for Facebook will show up on Instagram.
That's kind of scary. I wonder who wrote that algorithm.
Yeah, and same thing with like that's why your cookies are like they'll pull information from your cookies.
What the fuck? That's
yeah,
crazy.
just like okay, like if you want to look at the backpack you're saying, you Googled it, your cookies are fucking not cleared, and you're still logged into Facebook. You log into Facebook, you're gonna see the side ads for it, and you're gonna see sponsored posts every now and then in your feed about the product you're looking for or the company who makes similar products.
Right.
And obviously that translates to Instagram.
That's kind of crazy because isn't that like a little invasion of privacy kind of thing? But I guess you're using their product.
Yeah,
anyways,
it's
Google,
like that
right?
give and take. Like if you're gonna use Facebook for like connecting and Messenger and talking shit and leaving comments and on your friends' pages and all that shit. It's
looking at tasty videos.
Looking at BuzzFeed videos where they have paid sponsorships by Soylent, yes.
Yo, BuzzFeed's crazy too, and Distractify.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the same. It's like they pick up on all that. It's all algorithms, man.
So is that why people do the whole browse on private thing now? Like, is that actually a real thing? Because I've heard somebody say that to me before. Like, that's why I browse on private now.
Yeah. I mean, there's things that I browse on Tor.
Oh, really?
There's like when I look up Bitcoin prices, I use Tor and cryptocurrency stuff.
Really?
Yeah.
You actually into the Bitcoin thing?
Yeah.
You actually put money down on that?
I have some Bitcoin. It's not one Bitcoin, but it's like a percentage of a Bitcoin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like...
Do you think that's the future?
Yes. Because...
Are you really trying to invest money into your future? I'm just kidding. I mean, yeah, we have to, right?
It's...
We're 30 now.
If you think about it, because Bitcoin came out in 2011, and how we were defining what Bitcoin was like no one knew how to put value on that shit, right?
Right.
So that's why the value was like $1 or like per Bitcoin, and then slowly got up to like $10 per Bitcoin or whatever. So then it's like, well, no one knew how to place value in it, and then like especially when Greece, like their whole economic system collapsed, right? And then that's when Bitcoin also collapsed, because that was the kind of the currency that they were using, as to my knowledge. Fucking fact check me, but yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and then like they're like, oh yeah, that's why we don't understand what the fuck this Bitcoin thing is, and then somewhere along the way, the price of Bitcoin kept going up. The exchange rate for Bitcoin kept going up. So right now, if for every one Bitcoin, it's like $5,900.
No way.
Yeah, so imagine if you dropped $100 into Bitcoin at its fucking lowest at $1, you would have $59,000 right now.
Supposedly. You can't exchange it, can you?
Yeah, you can.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, how does Bitcoin get circulated into the economy?
Well, that's what they were saying over like the kind of the infant stages where it's like when it was heavily used in Europe and they were taking Bitcoin there. It's like, well, how the fuck did this translate into actual like
Currency.
euros and actual like real currency?
Mm-hmm.
And then along the way, they made steps to kind of like you can convert your Bitcoin into euros and dollars. So there's like people who do that things.
Like a kind of like a universal currency.
Yeah, so Bitcoin is like, just think of it like a video game currency that you
GP?
can, yeah, exactly, and then you can kind of convert that GP into dollars.
Yo, I can farm all day. I'm just kidding.
I mean, you could, but this is the same shit. So that's, I mean, I have some Bitcoin, but it's not. It's like, it's not nothing. It's
You wouldn't
nothing.
invest your whole
Basically.
life savings into it.
Not right now. If I told myself 2011 like, hey, you should do this, yes.
Damn, it would have been crazy.
Yeah,
if I
like, hey,
came.
do this shit. You got it. You got this, bro.
Put $100 down. Don't worry, it's gonna grow.
Well, because, okay, say I had in the summer, I had $50 in Bitcoin worth. And then I looked recently that $50 worth of Bitcoin actually it would have been worth 150 today.
150,000.
No, like it's just $50 to 150. It tripled. Like, what the fuck? Like, it did what it did.
It's crazy.
So yeah, cryptocurrency. I mean, it is the future. If you're putting a dollar value on it, then yeah, if you can convert it, why not?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Word.
This is crazy.
All right. Damn. Thinking. That was actually a really lively conversation.
Yeah.
I like that.
So it's okay. I guess it is going back to like what we're not forcing it all the time.
Yeah.
So some like it is not just like you're taking care of all the serious topics all at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, you're talking about our lives still, and then talk about our topic, and then banter. That's basically what it is.
Our format.
That's go back to the format
Okay.
because we just talked about Complex Con again.
Like, yeah.
Complex Con. Oh man. Yeah. Because you said you're going to Jakarta again. No.
Next year.
So you went into 2018.
2018 I'm going, yeah.
When?
I don't know, but for sure in December.
Well, fucker, you're going. You have to be at our wedding.
Huh?
Our wedding is in January 9th, 2019.
Yeah, I'll do that too.
As long as you have the PTO, man.
I got PTO, don't worry. I got.
Oh shit,
Where's your wedding gonna be at again?
Maui.
I'll go straight there. Just kidding.
I mean,
your wedding's not gonna be like a week, right? I'm just saying.
no,
See,
but you have to get there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll get there.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll handle that.
Oh, okay. Okay, how do we outro this?
We're not gonna include that wedding part, huh?
No.
Okay.
I might have to re-listen to this episode to figure out if there's like extra we can cut.
Definitely. Yeah.
I'm thinking. Fuck. Yeah, this just I don't know where to outro.
Segment outro.
This complex song.
Are we including all of the? Yeah, I guess we're including
The which one?
What was the first thing we talked about again? Internet legitimacy?
Well, we can cut a lot of that.
Yeah.
Just get to the point where like, well, this is it.
You're recording style, right?
Yeah.
So we had a lot of different...
This shit was fucking all over the place.
Yeah, this episode was super all over the place. So Erwin and I were thinking, like, our last episode was super depressing, and then, like, we were, like, going through this episode, and I was like, holy shit, this is getting, like, way too dark. We needed I had to throw in Complex Con on this one. I was like, fuck, we gotta go back to what really entertained us and keep the conversation, like, not as forced, I guess. So
you have to call it audible.
Audible. Yeah, I had to call audible. Like, we actually had a pause it. Like, if you heard it, like, we had a good, like, 10-minute pause. I was like, yo, we gotta, like, change it up real quick. Cause we couldn't just be all serious, man. This shit was crazy. It was like, I was getting like, fuck, man. This is the last two episodes. We're not gonna have 2 episodes of, like, hella down
back
serious. Yeah, I was like...
Yeah. 7.5 or 8, whatever. This is...
What episode is... This is like a mix between 7.5 and 8.
Yeah, this is like
and we lost an episode.
like in Star Wars, this was Shadows of the Empire. No, that's 7.
No,
that's 6, 4, 5, and 6.
If we had our last episode, that's definitely a Shadows of the Empire episode.
That was dark as fuck.
Yeah, this one kind of was like, if something happened at the end, or happened at the end of, like, Shadows of the Empire, like, that's what this episode was. It was hella two-sided.
Oh my god, yeah, this is... Hey, but it's over.
Hey, we did it, though.
We fucking made it again.
We did it.
Oh, this is so awkward. Oh my god, this is very, very difficult podcast.
This episode, anyways. But we have a few more topics left.
A little bit.
What is this, 7, right? You said, or 7.5?
7.5, 8.
Okay.
Like your shoe size.
Yay. 9 in women's. We're going to make it in 9 in women's. We're going to shoot for 10. Hopefully.
10. Like Westworld. Like a Westworld series.
Right. And then we'll try jumping back on less serious topics and talk more about being 30. But then again, we got to think about, like, all these past events lately. They are relevant to us.
They're fucking real. They're fucking
real. It's shit we're dealing with.
It's like, unfortunately, these are real fucking things.
Right. And we had addressed it. Because we couldn't be all hypebeast and funny.
And fucking talk about video games and sports. Sports and video games could be an actually interesting topic for the next one. We have a few more topics. A little bit.
I apologize for this episode being all over the place.
This is fucking all over the place.
It's hot. We'll blame them weather.
Fuck it, it's hot. God damn it.
October, and it's fucking hot.
Okay.
So we're going to end it here.
Yep.
We apologize. We'll do better next time. Thanks for listening. Peace.
Peace. Late.